Yuval, salutations, and a clenched fist salute, YouTube renegades. Welcome y bienvenidos once again to the one and only Outlaw News, the small 1,900 plus nobody platform on YouTube that sprays the YouTube yarda with the flair to can a cry on Glecha. I am your host, the YouTube Magonista, the voice of the barrio, the voice of the voiceless. Que pasa, cyber locals? Hope everyone is either 113 and 114% activated and strapped. Critical thinking beanies on extra tight today, YouTube renegades. If so, it's time to get activated. All right, Outlaw Posse. As you all know, Outlaw Posse, this platform, the Outlaw, champions against snitch influencer conformity while encouraging its loyal Outlaw Posse subscribers to always stay activated and think critical and question every snitch influencer's motives and prison boogeyman fairy tales. And to be fair and non-biased, I even encourage you to question me, you two renegades. Unlike the snitch influencers who expect you to believe everything they say and bow down to them and give them money, of course. But not ranting off on today's video. Today, YouTube Renegades, I'm going to try to change the format of the show a little bit, but keeping it the same at the same time. Recently, there was a video on the YouTube platform, Growing Revelations, by an individual, Sandman, who who put out a video allegedly to expose your boy the Outlaw. In this video, which appeared both Sandman and one Hector Bravo, aka the Prison Bull, who we will be speaking about today, spent 30 plus minutes, YouTube posse, not exposing the Outlaw with facts, documentation, or anything to corroborate their alleged allegations. Instead, they spent 30 plus minutes making childish remarks and express their sexual desires to cheat on their partners. Also, YouTube renegades, in this 30-minute plus video, they spent most of the time making fun of the Outlaw's speech disability, meaning my lisp. YouTube renegades, yes, I do have a list, and they spent 30 minutes making fun of it. Individuals who claim to be positive pushing YouTube influencers spent 30 minutes making fun of an individual's speech disability and his lisp. So instead of stooping to their level and flinging mud like they do, I decided to do something a little bit different with my reaction video. Because I guess you can consider this a reaction video to the video they put out that allegedly is designed to expose me. Now let me tell you a little bit something about this video. In this video was a poor attempt at exposing your boy the Outlaw, but in fact, was an excellent job at exposing these individuals' lies, manipulation, and hypocrisy. Yes, YouTube renegades, they are social media hypocrites. These individuals question my credibility. I'm going to kind of go through their little video real quick. They question my credibility, YouTube renegades, claiming that your boy, the YouTube renegade, was a JCat, that my personality didn't sound real, that I came off as strange, weird, off. And like I said, JCat-like. Poor YouTube renegades, I can see where that might come off, where I might come off as strange, weird, and JCat-like. But that is very simple to explain. YouTube renegades, my loyal outlaw posse, I don't come from an era where social media existed. In my day, all these stuff that we're putting out on social media, we kept privately in a thing called a diary. In my day, my social media was the graffiti on the walls, the latest issue of Teen Angel magazine, the party line, and the flyer you got to whatever flyer party was for the weekend. That was my social media. So I am extremely out of my comfort zone. This is extremely uncomfortable for me to do. I am very nervous. And when you add that with the fact that I have zero experience running a YouTube channel or being on social media, it is a perfect combination for coming off as weird and strange and JCat-like. But that's all right, you two renegades, because eventually I'll get good at it and I'll learn how to run a YouTube channel and I'll learn way more about social media and I will be up to par with these individuals and give them a true run for their money. But these all individuals also went as far as to tell their naive fanboy viewers that your boy the Outlaw was not a credible individual because I hide behind a mask. Yet these social media hypocrites that same day on Hector Bravo, aka the Prison Bulls channel, he dropped a video where he interviewed an individual, a former gang member, who was hiding wearing a ski mask. Now, Hector Bravo didn't have the same beliefs or the same energy with that individual. He didn't question him. He didn't question his credibility and flat out refused to do the interview since he feels so highly about what that says about an individual who hides behind the mask. He said that it says something about your character if you hide behind a mask. An individual who was in Operation Desert Storm, kicking in doors, arresting high value targets, right, in midnight raids. Do you think this individual, when he conducted these midnight raids in Iraq, was showing his face and his uniform adorned a tag that said Hector Bravo from Brawley, California? Or was he hiding behind a mask and hiding his identity? And you guys might wonder why I bring that up. Because these individuals have the nerve to say that I was scared, that I hide behind the mask out of fear, or that I was a J-cat. Basically, everything was negative. Why I hide behind the mask. Well, you two renegades, I ask you, do you think Hector Bravo was hiding behind a mask in Iraq because he was scared, he was fearful, or because he understood that in the battlefield, hiding your identity sometimes gives you an advantage on the battlefield? It's called using psychological warfare tactics. And that is what your boy the Outlaw does on the YouTube battlefield, because this is an information war. There is a war out for our minds, YouTube renegades. So your boy the Outlaw, seeing as I am basically launching a social media guerrilla attack, has to use psychological warfare in order to have the advantage, which means hiding my face, being a social media ninja. That means I don't reveal my identity. I don't seek validation. I don't seek people bowing to me and giving me money because I'm some great warrior ninja, right? Unlike the social media snitch influencers who choose to act like social media samurais, who seek validation from everybody, for everyone to bow down to them and believe their prison boogeyman fairy tales and to give them money. Well, by me remaining anonymous and being a social media ninja, my platform and your boy the Outlaw will never be able to sell out and have an inflated ego like the social media samurai snitch influencers do. These individuals, though, without ranting off too much on each subject, these individuals also in their video claimed your boy the Outlaw was a J-Cat. Now, I don't want to spend too much on the subject because it is a pretty, what I'm about to say is pretty sensitive, and some individuals might get butthurt, and it might cause a relapse or an episode of depression. This individual, Hector Bravo, was adamant that your boy the Outlaw was a J-Cat, that I must have been on some EOP yard, that I was basically crazy, is what he was trying to say. I already explained why I might come off as weird. But what I thought was weird, strange about Hector Bravo, one, his obvious bipolar disorder or tendencies or behavior, but this individual is a current recovering alcoholic. YouTube renegades, I seldomly drink. I'm known to go to the bar and the club and never having a drink except for a Coke. This individual is a recovering alcoholic. Okay? I didn't have to recover when I stopped drinking. I just didn't want to drink. Maybe I got more disciplined than him, right? This individual who chooses to call your boy the Outlaw a J-Cat happens to self-admit on other social media platforms that he suffers from PTSD, a mental illness, a mental disorder. And he wants to come onto social media claiming to be a champion for truth and transparency, right? A positive pushing social media influencer. And here he is, an individual who suffers from alcohol addiction and suffers from PTSD, which I'm guessing he's probably been recommended to take mild psych meds to control it. And he wants to tell an individual who seldomly drinks and when is sick doesn't even take medicine and tries to fight it off with natural remedies such as tea, herbs, and vitamins. A J-Cat. YouTube renegades, who do you think is the J-Cat? Me or the champion for truth and transparency? One, Hector Bravo, aka the Prison Bull. There goes my speech disability that these guys like to make fun of. I apologize, YouTube renegades. Hey, that's a good one. YouTube renegades, my outlaw posse. Does my speech disability and my list bother you? Leave a comment. Let me know what you think. And don't forget to hit the like, sub, and notification bell. But the reason why I made this video today, YouTube renegades, not just to react to that video and not to fire back with some real truth and transparency about one Hector Bravo, it's the issue of what he indoctrinated his fanboy viewers to believe. What I always tell you that snitch influencer community, law enforcement, and so-called gang experts do indoctrinate the public to believe that actives don't talk. This individual went as far that he was adamant that there's no way, no how that I could be an active because no active would be on social media today talking. Now, I've never claimed to be an active, a validated anything, or belonging to any prison organization. But this individual is adamant that actives would never be on social media. You're never going to find an active I have two things about that to say about that, YouTube renegades. It's just not going to happen. One, against their own public. This individual basically subconsciously just exposed all the fake actives on YouTube. So what he's saying is that Bozo is not an active, that this other studio sureño, Big Temps, isn't an active, that this other clown, Cholo Juan, or as I call him, Peseta Juan, isn't an active. That, let's see, what other individuals claim to be active on social media? Then there's this clown, Ryder G, who also claims to be active. So what he's saying is all these individuals that portray themselves as active on social media, who are always plugged by the snitch influencers, coincidentally, right? The individuals who are out on social media preaching against the treachery, the manipulation that these individuals are considered the social media poster boys for. But yet, the snitch influencer community subconsciously plugs all the fake actives, right? But here we have Hector Bravo exposing that all these individuals, such as Bozo, Pimps, Fuck 'em, and well, we all know criminals dirty, but basically JD from Prison Break Raw, that all these individuals aren't real actives. So that's one. And another, remember what I tell you, remember what I told you in my other video. What does Hector Bravo do? That he doesn't expose the lies and corruption. That in fact, he actually helps disseminate misinformation to cover up that corruption, right? What did he do on the video, the first video I did on him? I showed you how he actually tells his fanboy groupies, indoctrinates them to believe that one, George Jackson is somehow affiliated with starting the BGF. And I showed you how, in fact, with corroborated evidence, that is 113% a lie. Now, according to this individual, Hector Bravo and Sandman, who are adamant and positive, so much positive that they feel it's their duty to brainwash individuals on social media to believe the actives don't talk.
You're never going to find an active
that
fucking
rumor,
gang member
that
on a
slogan
YouTube, right? It's just not going to
was
happen.
created
It's against their own
and
policies,
started
against their own
and
rules.
spread by CDCR, the very same group Hector Bravo claims to be out to expose their lies and corruption. Yet, he's spreading the same disinformation to cover up their corruption. And let me explain how that is. Now, we all know YouTube renegades, and the snitch influencer community knows, just like Hector Bravo knows, that in fact, according to CDCR, who validated these two individuals as alleged members of the Aryan Brotherhood, one, Ronnie Yondell and Brant Daniels, both have YouTube platforms. Both these individuals' channels are solely dedicated to exposing the lies and corruption of CDCR. The same thing that allegedly Hector Bravo's out to expose. Yet, Hector Bravo denies the existence of these two individuals' channels. Hector Bravo tells his loyal fanboy groupies to be indoctrinated and brainwashed to believe that actives don't talk. Yet, we all know that recently, one, Johnny Martinez, another individual who's been validated by CDCR to be an alleged member and leader of the Mexican Mafia, right? Was on Hoodstocks giving an interview talking about the very same thing Hector Bravo claims he's out to expose. Yet, instead of helping expose that corruption and lies, he disseminates the very same propaganda and misinformation that CDCR has created to cover up their lies and corruption. But that's not all, YouTube renegades. That's three that I named, right? If you go on the YouTube platform, PNG News Media, or is it PNG Media? No, it's PNG News Media. This individual on that channel has an excellent interview with the individual who on the video goes by LP, which stands for Louis Powell, who has also been validated by CDCR as a high-ranking member of the Black Gorilla family, who gives an hour-long interview regarding the Black Gorilla family and the corruption that happens behind prison walls. Yet, Hector Bravo denies the existence of this individual on social media. But that's not all, YouTube renegades. Because if you go on the search engine of YouTube and you type in Kumasi BGF, and that's Kumasi, there are several videos of Brother Kumasi speaking on the corruption and lies that happen behind the prison walls. Yet, Hector Bravo denies the existence that these individuals who have been validated by CDCR would be on
You're
social
never going to
media
find an
speaking
active fucking
publicly
gang
about
member
prison.
on a YouTube, right? It's just not going to happen. It's against their own policies. It's against
So, YouTube renegades, as you see, Hector Bravo is not out to expose the lies and corruption, and he's not about transparency. Because if he was about transparency, he would tell his loyal viewers that in fact there is several actives, and I'm not including myself, but I'm saying several alleged, certified, validated by CDCR, alleged actives on social media today speaking about the lies and corruption behind the prison wall.
What's up, folks? This is a shorty right here. We were listening to something the other day. Somebody saying actives don't speak out. That is wrong. We do speak out when it's warranted. We know where to go and what not to say and what lines not to cross. I am an activist in prison, highly activated, and when something is wrong and there's corrupt issues going on, we will speak out. That is a fact.
If he was out to seek truth and tell the truth, he would tell his viewers the truth that in fact Ronnie Yondell and Brant Daniels both have YouTube channels. Instead of telling his loyal fan, well, subconsciously indoctrinating his fanboy groupies viewers to believe that their only loyal source of prison gang lore comes from a snitch influencer or a former prison guard or a so-called gang expert. But that's not all YouTube renegades, because I tell you, this guy is also a social media hypocrite. Because instead of collaborating or at least acknowledging that there's several actives on social media today actually talking publicly about prison and exposing the lies and corruption that he claims to be out to expose, and instead of collaborating, plugging them, supporting them, commenting on their channel, what does he do? Deny the existence that these individuals are ever on social media, and completely indoctrinate his fanboys to believe the notion that was created by CDCR, the rumor, the slogan that actives don't talk. But that's not all YouTube renegades, because he's a hypocrite. Not only does he not collab or acknowledge other individuals who are out to seek and expose the lies and manipulation of CDCR, but instead he chooses to plug, promote, interview, and endorse, validate, and stamp the very same individuals that have been trained by the group he claims to be out to expose on social media today, who are spreading the lies and manipulation that are used to hide the corruption, the snitch influencer communities. YouTube renegades, I want to ask you a question, and I want to see comments. What do you think would happen if Hector Bravo interviewed an individual like Ronnie Yondell or Brant Daniels on his YouTube channel? What do you think that would do for his credibility, his clout, his platform, money, views? Do you think all that would be greatly affected in a positive way by him interviewing these individuals and being a fair and balanced channel where he interviews both active and inactive? But he won't, right? Even though he knows he would get views, he knows he would get money and a hell of a lot of clout. Instead, what does he do? He champions for SNY gangs, and specifically a certified, bona fide, medically documented JCAT, one bat crazy Snoop, who happens to be the president of an SNY gang. So you see the hypocrisy in this individual's so-called alleged positive pushing agenda and mission to seek out truth and transparency from CDCR. He is doing nothing on this platform but spreading the same propaganda that's created by CDCR. That is why, YouTube renegades, this individual now on this platform will no longer be known as Hector Bravo, aka the Prison Bull. He will now be known as CDCR's social media minister of propaganda. And I want to hear comments, YouTube renegades. Do you think that is an appropriate nickname for him? Now let me repeat that again. CDCR's social media minister of propaganda, because he spreads the very same disinformation that CDCR created to cover up the corruption and lies. I want to hear comments, you two renegades. Let me know what you think. Is that nickname appropriate? I had to give him a new nickname. This individual, what I tell you, is a fucking peanut for brains. His IQ is so low and lacks true knowledge about prison and prison lore and prison terms to understand what the term bull means. So I have to give him a new name. And that's the name I gave him. CDCR's social media minister of propaganda. Because he is unable to use his brain and think for a moment, or maybe ask his dad what a bull means, which is, I'll tell you, YouTube renegades, it's an old school term for a prison guard. And this individual who claims to be 16 years of CDCR and knowledgeable of CDCR, I thought he was knowledgeable because he uses these prison terms all the time, Right now, YouTube renegades, this individual is on this platform right now selling a brand of coffee, and that he calls Chanate brand of coffee. Chanate is a term that racist Latinos and racist prison guards use to refer to as incarcerated African Americans. This term chanate is such an extremely racist word, extremely disrespectful word, that if I said the English term that's equivalent to this word, I would get into serious trouble, and the African American community would most definitely probably attack me. But yet, Hector Bravo, this positive pushing influencer who claims to know about prison and prison slang, is on his channel right now pumping this brand of coffee called Chanate brand of coffee. And when you go in the comment sections of him promoting this, you see that the people are well aware that that is a very racist, derogatory term that he's using to name his coffee. So I thought, since he knew what Chanate meant, that he would be smart enough, intelligent enough, right, up to par with an individual who he calls not credible to know what a bull is. But since he didn't know what a bull is, now he has to receive a new name, and that is the official YouTube CDCR social media minister of propaganda. Again, YouTube renegades. I want to see comments. I want to see likes, subs, and shares. And remember, YouTube renegades, this is why we always have to remain 113 and 114% activated, because there will always be individuals out to manipulate us with their lies and opinions, because there is a war out for our minds. And it's not just the snitch influencers themselves that are out to manipulate us with their lies and opinions, but there's also prison bulls on YouTube that are out to manipulate us with their lies and opinions. So always stay strapped with that critical thinking beanie on, extra tight, YouTube renegades. And remember, a clenched fist salute, events at M.
As you know, it took a lot in order to make this happen, but, the powers that be got this approved, and we went ahead and did everything that was necessary to make this happen.